gangs, the Mafia, and corrupt police are all involved in human trafficking. An ex-military soldier had left his past behind. What will happen when he has to fight again to save a girl's life, even though he doesn't want to, and will have to face the entire Mafia? The story begins with an ex-military soldier named Levon, who is now the head of a construction site after retiring. Although this job is very small, for now, Levon will have to do it here. After meeting his labor crew, Levon goes to the Gracia family, the owners of this company. Levon was very close to this family. That's why the main owner even considers Gracia's daughter, Jenny, his own. She tells him and her father that she has to attend a party tonight, and she will be late. Levon notices some people come and start fighting with one of his workers. So Levon quickly goes in the middle and uses his military training to handle it easily. Jenny, who has seen everything from behind, says that her father told her today how Levon had been a soldier before. So she herself wants to learn fighting techniques from him. Although Levon stopped her from doing this because a few years ago, after his wife's death, he himself wants to forget his soldier days. Now, after working all day, Levon went to meet his only daughter, Mary. Actually, after his wife's death, his wife Mary's custody was given to Levon's father-in-law, and Levon can only meet her once a week for 2 hours. That's why his father-in-law doesn't like it either, because Levon doesn't even have his own house and lives in his car. Now, even today, after spending time with his daughter, Levon goes to his lawyers, who were fighting a case for his daughter's custody. Levon says that his father-in-law thinks that his daughter was killed because of Levon. But because he mostly lived in the military, living alone caused his mental state to deteriorate, and she took her own life. But now he doesn't even want to hand over his daughter to him because of that. However, Levon will still fight the case and gives all his money to the lawyers, so that his case doesn't stop. That's why he himself sleeps in his car to save money. On the other hand, Jenny went to a club with her friends, which was famous for the Mafia, and some people noticed her there. So when Jenny was going to the washroom alone, some other people came from behind and kidnapped her. Actually, these are Russian traffickers who traffic girls and sell them for money. Now, the next morning, Levon notices that the police had come here. He went inside and found out from Joe and his wife that their daughter hadn't returned from last night. Anyway, for the past few months, girls have been disappearing from the city, and the police are not doing anything. That's why Joe and his wife were more scared. Joe already knew that Levon had been a soldier in the military, so he now asks him for help, stating that the police won't do anything to find his daughter. So he asks Levon to find his daughter privately, and in return, he will give Levon a total of 40 lakh rupees cash, so that Levon won't have a hard time getting custody of his daughter. Initially, Levon refuses this offer because, after his wife's death, he wanted to start a new life, and he doesn't want to get into any fight now. But Joe's daughter Jenny was very close to him, so he finally gets ready for this job. He promised Joe that he would somehow find his daughter Jenny and bring her back. Levon went straight to that club that night. Levon goes straight to that club that night, where he found out that Jenny had come with her friends last night. And here he also found a broken piece of Jenny's necklace, which means she was picked up from here. Levon knew that the bartender always knew about all this, so he now followed him to his house and started asking him about Jenny last night. However, that man refused to tell anything, saying that he had never seen Jenny. But Levon knew that he was lying, and now he starts getting the truth out of him in his own way. The bartender could have told him anything, but before that, some other people came in, and Levon had to kill everyone in self-defense. However, he found out from the tattoos on their bodies that these people are members of a dangerous Russian gang. And before he left, he also took the money, which will help him find Jenny and bribe the rest of the gang members. The next morning, when the main boss Volo reached the same bartender's house with his 2 sons, seeing them all dead, he understood that this work was not done by an ordinary man, but by some trained soldier. They start going to their safe house to give information about it. Meanwhile, he didn't pay out now. He first scouts everywhere and maps the entire area. When there was no one around his safe house, he made Volo unconscious. Then he starts asking him about Jenny and where he must have kept her. However, Volo also warns him that he has made a big mistake by doing this and doesn't even know which gang he is messing with. But on the contrary, Levon tells him that they don't know who is behind them, and now Levon throws him into the water, from which Volo died there. Here, in the safe house, he also found out that Volo has a son named Dimmy, who is behind Jenny's kidnapping. And he will have to find that place before these people sell Jenny somewhere else. Meanwhile, the news of these people's deaths had reached a high level in the Mafia. So, the Mafia boss Yuri orders that they find out as soon as possible who is killing their people. On the other hand, when Dimmy was asked about his old companion, Levon found out how Dimmy is known to pick up such girls and supply them outside. That's why, for the past few days, there was news of the disappearance of many girls from the city. Meanwhile, Dimmy is very close to the main Mafia boss, which is why no one touches him. Levon knew that Jenny's whereabouts would not be known in such a way. That's why he now goes to Dimmy's bar and does a drama of trading drugs with his gang members so that he can get more information about this gang. He also fought with many people for this so that everyone thinks that he is a drug addict, and Levon does not let him doubt himself by dealing drugs with the bar owner Dutch. Finally, after a while, Dimmy agreed to meet him. Now, the next day, Levon finally meets Dimmy, who is considering him a smuggler. Although Levon is only getting close to his gang to find Jenny, now during this time in the photos of that night of Jenny, one member of this gang recognizes Viper. That means he was also there when Jenny was picked up. Levon now specially starts tracing Viper to find out where he must be going. Meanwhile, a security guard noticed him, and after giving him a warning, many Mafia members came to catch him. Levon, who was also trying to escape from them, was finally surrounded by the Mafia people from all sides. But when they tied him up and took him away from the car, seeing Moa, Levon attacks the driver, and by turning the car there, both of Yuri's sons, who were present in the truck, were also killed. Now, when Yuri came to know about this news, he orders his entire Mafia in anger that they should somehow find out the identity of that man who is killing his members one by one. He will kill everyone with his entire family because he has killed his sons. Yuri also went straight to Dimmy to tell him what he has come to know so far, that this is not anyone else, but an ex-military soldier named Levon is doing it. Although they don't even know why he is doing this, they will now have to attack him. The next day, when Levon went to meet his daughter for his weekly visit, he realized that some people were following him. He understood that the Mafia had found out about him and his family, and they were all in danger. Levon quickly goes to his father-in-law's house and sees that those people had already set fire there. So Levon quickly goes inside and first takes out his father-in-law, who is about to die. He knew that now, with his daughter, no one he knew would be safe. So he now goes from his daughter and father-in-law's house to his old companion Ben's house, whom Levon had saved from dying in his military days. And until he deals with the Mafia, they can all stay safe here. Now, leaving his family safe, Levon gets ready with weapons, because he had to fight the whole Mafia. On the other hand, Jenny, whom the Mafia was transferring to another place out of fear of Levon, tries to run away by causing an accident with the driver behind her, and she was successful in this. She finally ran away from the road and reached two policemen. But she didn't know that these policemen were corrupt and were also associated with the gang. So they again catch Jenny and take her back to her place, from where they will soon shift Jenny to another country, so that it becomes more difficult to find her. Anyway, they get a lot of money from such girls. On the other hand, Levon now attacks Dimmy and starts asking him about Jenny's location. And when Dimmy thought that Levon would kill him, he had to disclose Jenny's location to save his life. He also tells him that Viper was behind picking up Jenny, whom he saw in the bar that night. So now, after getting Jenny's location, Levon still kills Dimmy and goes to attack that location with all his equipment. On the other hand, that gang was also ready and became alert when they found out about Dimmy's death. But this was of no use. Levon uses his military training and starts killing them one by one. He was systematically entering inside and started killing all the guards, finally reaching Viper and starting a fight with him. Inside, Jenny had found out that Levon came to pick her up, and she also kills her guard. Finally, Levon came and got her out. However, when they were leaving, the last remaining two members of the gang, Viper and his companions, start shooting at them. So Levon finally threw a bomb and killed them too, the ones who had picked up Jenny in the beginning. And he finally saved Jenny and left. Levon now finally introduces Jenny to his family, who are very happy with Levon, that he returned the daughter whose hope they had lost. Meanwhile, Levon's father-in-law also found out how he helps others. That's why they will let him stay with his daughter. And with this happy ending, this movie ends here. So subscribe to the channel for more such latest movies, which come first on this channel. Thank you for watching it.